Hello friends. My name is Sophia, and I'm 20 years old. Today, I want to tell you a special story about my amazing family. Every family is unique, and I want to share with you what makes mine so special. Let me start with my mother, Sarah. She's the most caring person you'll ever meet. Her chocolate chip cookies are famous in our neighborhood. When I was little, coming home from school was always exciting because she would have fresh, warm cookies waiting for me. We would sit at our kitchen table, enjoying cookies with cold milk, and I would tell her everything about my day. Even now, when I'm feeling sad, she bakes cookies and everything feels better. My father's name is Michael, and he's my everyday hero. He works as a firefighter at our local fire station. Every time I hear a fire truck siren, I think of him rushing to help someone in need. When I was younger, he would come home from work and, despite being tired, he would always read me bedtime stories. He does the funniest voices for different characters. His dragon voice was always my favorite. Sometimes he would make up his own stories about brave princesses who saved their kingdoms. My brother Thomas is 18 years old, just 2 years younger than me. He's the kind of person who can make you laugh even on your worst days. He's also incredibly smart, especially with computers. We love playing video games together in our basement game room. Sometimes we have gaming marathons that last for hours. Even though we're both competitive, we never stay mad at each other for long. Last week, he beat me at our favorite racing game, and instead of bragging, he taught me all his secret shortcuts. My sister Emma is the youngest, she's 16. But she has the biggest dreams in our family. Every evening, our living room turns into her personal dance studio. She pushes the furniture aside and practices her ballet moves for hours. Sometimes I sit and watch her dance. She moves so gracefully, like she's floating on air. She wants to become a professional dancer one day, and I completely believe in her. Last month, she had her first big recital, and our whole family sat in the front row, cheering her on. We also have Charlie, our golden retriever. He joined our family 3 years ago when he was just a tiny puppy. Now he's grown into a big, playful dog who thinks he's still small enough to sit on our laps. Charlie has this special talent. He can somehow tell when any of us is feeling sad. He'll come over, put his head on your lap, and look at you with his big brown eyes until you start smiling again. Together, we live in a cozy house with a big backyard where Charlie loves to run around. Every Sunday, without fail, we have our special family day. We pack a picnic basket with sandwiches, fruits, and of course, Mom's cookies. Then we all go to Central Park, where we spend hours playing with Charlie, telling stories, and just being together. These Sundays are my favorite days of the week. Life isn't always easy, even in the happiest families. Last year, we faced one of our toughest times when my grandfather, Michael's father, passed away. Grandpa James was such a special person to all of us. He lived just a few blocks away and would visit almost every day. He knew hundreds of stories about his childhood during the 1950s, and we never got tired of hearing them. When he passed away, it was like a light went out in our house. We all dealt with grief differently. Emma stopped dancing for a while. Thomas became very quiet, and Mom spent a lot of time looking at old photo albums. But even in our sadness, we found strength in being together. We started sharing our favorite memories of Grandpa James during dinner. Thomas remembered how Grandpa taught him to play chess. Emma talked about how he would attend every one of her dance practices, sitting in his special chair and clapping louder than anyone else. Slowly, our tears turned into smiles when we talked about him. Then there was the time Thomas broke his leg during a soccer match. He was playing as goalkeeper and made an amazing save, but he landed wrong. I'll never forget how scared we all were at the hospital. Thomas had to stay in bed for 6 weeks. But you know what? Those 6 weeks showed me how special our family is. We all took turns entertaining him. Emma would perform little dance shows in his room, Mom set up a mini snack bar next to his bed, and Dad carried him everywhere until he got his crutches. I spent hours playing board games with him, and even Charlie knew to be extra gentle around Thomas. But we've had many amazing times too. Every Christmas is magical in our house. We have this tradition where we decorate the entire house together. Dad puts up the lights outside. Sometimes they're a little crooked, but we tell him they're perfect. Mom bakes her special cinnamon rolls that make the whole house smell amazing. Thomas and Emma argue about who gets to put the star on top of the tree. They take turns each year, and I'm in charge of the Christmas music playlist. Last Christmas was extra special because Sarah and Michael surprised us with a trip to the mountains. We stayed in a cozy cabin for a week. During the day, we went hiking and saw the most beautiful views, mountains covered in snow, frozen lakes that looked like mirrors, and even some deer. In the evenings, we would sit around the fireplace, drink hot chocolate, and tell stories. Dad tried to tell scary stories, but he always made them funny instead of scary because he didn't want to frighten Emma. One evening, we tried to make dinner ourselves to give Mom a break. Dad was in charge, big mistake. Thomas was his assistant chef, Emma was on salad duty, and I was supposed to make dessert. Well, let's just say it was chaos. Dad burned the chicken. Thomas added too much salt to the potatoes, my cookies turned out hard as rocks, and only Emma's salad was edible. Mom laughed so hard she had tears in her eyes, and then she helped us order pizza. Now it's one of our favorite funny memories. One of our most important family traditions is our Sunday dinners. Every Sunday, no matter how busy we are, we all come together for a special meal. Mom usually cooks her famous roast chicken with herbs from our little garden, and we all help with different tasks. I set the table, Thomas helps chop vegetables, and Emma makes her special lemonade. Even Charlie knows it's a special time. He sits patiently under the table, waiting for any dropped food. During these dinners, we have a tradition called high-low. Each person shares their highest moment and lowest moment from the week. Sometimes it's big news, like when Emma won her dance competition, or when Thomas got accepted into the computer science program. Other times it's simple things, like me finding my lost necklace or Dad telling us about saving a cat from a tree at work. These conversations help us stay connected and understand what's happening in each other's lives. Our birthdays are always exciting. Last month, for my 20th birthday, my family planned the most amazing surprise. They told me we were just going to have a simple dinner, but when I came home from university, they had transformed our backyard into a carnival. There were colorful balloons everywhere. Dad had set up games like ring toss and balloon pop. Mom had baked a 3-layer cake with rainbow frosting, Thomas had created a playlist of all my favorite songs, and Emma had choreographed a special birthday dance. Even our neighbors joined in the celebration. We also love traveling together, even though it can be chaotic. Last summer, we took a trip to the beach. Mom packed enough sandwiches to feed an army. Dad got lost 3 times even with GPS. He still insists on reading paper maps. Thomas brought his entire gaming setup, just in case it rains, and Emma practiced her dance moves in every rest stop along the way. Charlie came too, and he had the time of his life chasing waves and digging holes in the sand. The most memorable part of that beach trip was building what we called our super sand castle. We all worked together for hours. Dad was the architect, drawing plans in the sand. Mom collected the best shells for decoration. Thomas figured out how to make the moat stay filled with water. Emma added little flags made from seaweed and sticks, and I was in charge of the tower details. Charlie helped by occasionally running through the whole thing, but we didn't mind. Our castle won 3rd place in the beach's sandcastle competition. Some of our best memories are from the simple moments too. On rainy days, we build pillow forts in the living room. Mom makes hot chocolate with extra marshmallows. Dad tells his silly jokes that make us groan but secretly laugh. Thomas brings his laptop so we can watch movies, and Emma creates shadow puppet shows on the walls. Charlie always manages to squeeze himself into the middle of our fort, even though he barely fits. Our family loves dreaming big together. We have this special tradition where, on New Year's Eve, we each share our biggest dream for the future. Mom dreams of opening her own bakery someday. She's already famous in our neighborhood for her cookies, but she wants to share her baking with more people. Dad talks about teaching young firefighters and maybe writing a book about his experiences helping people. Thomas wants to create his own video games. He's already working on one that's inspired by our family's funny moments. Emma's dream hasn't changed since she was 6. She wants to dance on the biggest stages around the world. She practices so hard every day, and we're all her biggest fans. Sometimes she teaches us dance moves in the living room. Dad is horrible at it, with his 2 left feet, but he tries anyway. Mom is surprisingly good. Thomas pretends he hates it but secretly enjoys it, and I'm somewhere in between. Charlie just runs around us in circles, probably thinking we've all gone crazy. My own dream is to become a teacher. I want to help children learn and grow, just like my parents helped us. When I told my family this, they immediately turned our garage into a pretend classroom where I could practice teaching. Thomas volunteered to be my problem student. He's too good at that role. Emma brought her old school books, and Mom and Dad took turns being different types of parents at parent-teacher conferences. Even Charlie got involved as the class pet. We also have a big family dream. We want to travel around the world together. On our kitchen wall, we have a huge world map where we put pins in all the places we want to visit. Mom wants to try croissants in Paris. Dad dreams of seeing the northern lights in Norway. Thomas wants to visit the biggest tech companies in Japan. Emma hopes to see ballet performances in Russia, and I want to explore the ancient ruins in Greece. We're saving money in our special family adventure jar. Everyone puts in a little bit whenever they can. But what makes our family truly special isn't our big dreams or adventures, it's how we support each other every day. When Emma has a dance recital, we all show up with flowers and handmade signs. When Thomas has a gaming competition, we wear matching t-shirts he designed. When Dad has a tough day at work, we give him extra long hugs. When Mom feels tired, we try to cook dinner, even though it usually ends in disaster and takeout. Sometimes we argue and disagree, like when Thomas and Emma fight over the TV remote, or when I get annoyed because Thomas keeps beating me at video games. Sometimes Mom and Dad disagree about small things too. But we have a family rule: never go to bed angry. We always talk things out, even if it's hard, and end with hugs. You know what's really special about our family? We're not perfect, and we don't try to be. We mess up, we make mistakes, we burn dinners, we tell bad jokes, we sing off-key, and sometimes we drive each other crazy. But we love each other exactly as we are. At the end of each day, when we're all home together, with Charlie sleeping at our feet and everyone sharing stories about their day, I know that I have the best family in the world. Thank you for listening to my story, friends. Remember, every family is special in its own way. What matters most is the love and care you share with each other. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our lessons. Keep practicing, stay curious. And I'll see you next time.